Namaskar, good evening viewers. You are watching the news on Sansad TV. I am Rajiv Kumar Singh. We will get you the detailed news stories from the national and international fronts. Let us begin with the headlines of the day. India is focused on green growth and green jobs, says Prime Minister at the Environment Ministers' Conference in Gujarat. Asserts it is necessary to recognize those who block development in the name of environment. Shah targets JDU and RJD at public meeting in Bihar. Says Nitish Kumar betrayed BJP in his desire to become Prime Minister. Referendum begins in Ukrainian territories occupied by Russia. Voting to last for 5 days. Ukraine and Western countries condemn move. BRICS nations reject double standards in countering terrorism. Ministers call for a speedy adoption of comprehensive convention on international terrorism. Let us get you some more important speed news. Bombay High Court allows Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena to hold the Dussehra rally at Shivaji Park on 5th of October. At Global Clean Energy Action Forum in US, Union Minister Jitendra Singh says India working continuously towards a transforming energy landscape with clean energy share. APEDA exports the first consignment of plant-based meat products from Gujarat to US. Defense Ministry signs 1,700 crore rupee deal to acquire additional BrahMos missiles for frontline warships. 4,37,000 Poshan Vatikas set up under Poshan Mah 2022, says Women and Child Development Ministry. RJD leader Lalu Prasad Yadav along with Bihar's CM Nitish Kumar to meet Sonia Gandhi for opposition unity ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Sharp rise in incidents related to hate crimes, racial violence and anti-India activities in Canada. MEA advises Indians to be vigilant. UK government scraps corporate tax hike, lifts cap on bankers' bonuses to boost faltering economy. Hong Kong scraps mandatory hotel quarantine for inbound travellers from Monday, signals more easing. And former India hockey captain and Olympian Dilip Turki elected Hockey India's new president unopposed. News now in detail. New India is fast emerging as a leader in sustainable solutions, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said today. He noted that from International Solar Alliance to the Life Movement, India is leading the charge. Addressing the National Conference of Environment Ministers of all states virtually, he said that New India is progressing with a new approach and new thinking. The conference is being held in Ekta Nagar in Narmada district of Gujarat. He said that India is also rapidly strengthening both in its economy and ecology. PM Modi also urged states to work together to achieve India's target of net zero emissions by 2070. He also said that urban Naxals stalled the construction of Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada River in Gujarat for many years in the name of environment.
कई ग्लोबल इंस्टीट्यूशन भी, कई फाउंडेशन भी ऐसे बड़े पसंद आने वाले विषय पकड़ करके तूफान खड़ा कर देते हैं और ये हमारे अर्बन नक्सल उसको माथे पर लेकर के नाचते रहते हैं और हमारी हर रुकावट आ जाती है.
Union Home Minister Shah has said that Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar backstabbed the BJP to join hands with RJD and Congress in order to fulfill his prime ministerial ambitions. Shah alleged that Nitish Kumar has no ideology, and so he gave up socialism in favor of caste-based politics. He asserted that BJP believes in politics of service and development instead of selfishness and power. Shah is on his two-day visit to Simanchal region of Bihar. He is scheduled to hold a series of meetings with MPs, MLAs and leaders of different cells of the party.
लालू नीतीश की जोड़ी अब एक्सपोज हो चुकी है। वो बिहार को आगे नहीं ले जा सकती। अब बिहार को आगे ले जाना है तो मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में पूर्ण बहुमत की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बने।
The Central Election Commission team, on a 3-day tour ahead of Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly elections, held a meeting with representatives of all political parties in Shimla. In the meeting, the political parties made their suggestions to the poll panel team and appealed to conduct the elections quickly and with transparency. The Chief Election Commissioner met with the senior officials to ensure smooth and peaceful conduct of elections. He also met with the Chief Secretary, DG and Health Secretary of the state. The tenure of the Himachal Pradesh Vidhan Sabha will end on 8th of January next year.
आज हमने सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के साथ में मीटिंग की थी। सभी नेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, उनके यहाँ के पदाधिकारी लोग आए थे। सबसे पहले उनसे हम लोगों ने जानकारी ली थी कि उनकी क्या कहना है, कैसे स्वच्छ और निष्पक्ष चुनाव हो। और उसके बाद स्टेट के चीफ सेक्रेटरी साहब, डीजी साहब, हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी साहब से हमने बातचीत की।
The BRICS nations of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa have rejected double standards in the global fight against terrorism. They call for a speedy adoption of the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism within the UN framework. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met his BRICS counterparts for the annual BRICS Ministers of Foreign Affairs meeting on the margins of the high-level UN General Assembly session. The ministers strongly condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations whenever, wherever and by whomsoever committed. They rejected double standards in countering terrorism and extremism conducive to terrorism. The G4 nations of India, Brazil, Germany and Japan have said that negotiations to UN Security Council reform are constrained by a lack of openness and transparency. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar hosted a meeting of foreign ministers of G4 nations on the sidelines of UNGA session. Foreign Minister of Brazil, Carlos Alberto Franca, Foreign Minister of Germany, Annalena Baerbock, and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan, Yoshimasa Hayashi, participated in the meeting. The G4 ministers reiterated their support for each other's candidatures as aspiring new permanent members in a reformed Security Council. Tata Steel will merge with itself 6 of its subsidiary companies. A proposal in this regard was approved by the board of the company. The subsidiaries include Tata Steel Long Products Limited, the Tin Plate Company of India Limited, Tata Metallics Limited, the Indian Steel and Wire Products Limited, Tata Steel Mining Limited and SNT Mining Company Limited. Tata Steel said the amalgamation is aimed at driving synergies, simplifying the group holdings and management structure. The decision is also expected to consolidate and strategically downstream operations and engineering capabilities. Delhi recorded more than half of the rainfall in September in just 24 hours. With continuous downpour, the situation in Delhi is changing from being rain deficient to rain surplus this month. Between 1st and 23rd of September, the city has received 130.5 mm of rain. The Weather Bureau has attributed the heavy rain to the interaction of a western disturbance and a low-pressure system. The IMD has issued a yellow alert, cautioning people about moderate rain and at most places in Delhi. The incessant rains in the last 2 days have also brought down the overall deficit in the monsoon season. Continuous rains in Delhi NCR for past 2 days has caused waterlogging at many places. Traffic jams were reported at several key stretches in the national capital. The Delhi Traffic Police has issued an alert asking commuters to plan their journey accordingly. Many roads in Gurugram in Haryana got waterlogged, causing massive traffic snarls. While all schools were shut, the officers were advised to work from home on Friday. Many areas of Uttar Pradesh have been inundated due to incessant rains for past 2 days. Many rivers are in spate and low-lying areas have been submerged. Over 200 villages in districts like Azamgarh, Gorakhpur, Lakhimpur Kheri and Sitapur have been flooded. Over 2 lakh people have been affected. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath conducted an aerial survey of the flood-hit districts in the state, including Gorakhpur, Sant Kabir Nagar, Basti, Ayodhya, Gonda and Barabanki. He directed the officials to ensure expeditious distribution of relief assistance to families affected. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has announced that he would fight the Congress presidential polls. Stressing on party unity, Gehlot said, irrespective of whoever wins the election, they all have to work together to strengthen the Congress at all levels. He also said the debate on one man, one post was unnecessary and that he would like to serve the people of his home state all his life. He added that any call on his successor will be taken by party interim president Sonia Gandhi and Congress's Rajasthan in charge Ajay Makan.
फैसला कर लिया कि एक बार कोई गांधी फैमिली का व्यक्ति हम उम्मीदवार नहीं करेंगे, ये उन्होंने स्पष्ट कर दिया है.
A collection of selected speeches of Prime Minister Narendra Modi was released today at Akashvani Bhavan in New Delhi. The book titled Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi Speaks showcases the Prime Minister's vision of a new India. The book was released by former Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Governor of Kerala Arif Mohammed Khan and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. On the occasion, former Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that the book reflects the ideas, determination and decisiveness of Modi's government.
Modi reaches to the hearts and minds of the people, establishing a clear connect in the process. This is very important in a democracy. For a successful leader, you must be able to communicate with the people. Contact, communicate, move, meet, greet, eat, walk and talk with the people.
Let's take a look at other news from across the nation. The draft Indian Telecommunication Bill 2022 will bring down the time for licensing to 28 days and usher in an online licensing system, Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has said. He added that the new telecom bill can be brought within 6 to 10 months, but the government is in no hurry. DOT has set October 20th as the deadline for the draft bill. The Supreme Court has issued notice to the Centre on a PIL seeking direction to control fraudulent religious conversion and those carried out by intimidation, threat, deceit and through gifts and monetary benefits. The court sought a reply from the Ministries of Law and Home. Chief Justice of India UU Lalit has indicated that the Supreme Court may take up the challenge to the abrogation of Article 370 of the Constitution that took away the special privileges of Jammu and Kashmir and led to the bifurcation of the state in 2019. The CJI said the case would be listed after October 10th. The Supreme Court on Friday directed the clubbing of all FIRs registered against journalist Navika Kumar in connection with a TV show in which former BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma made some controversial remarks about Prophet Muhammad. The court said all FIRs will be tagged with the one registered by the Delhi police. The court also granted Navika Kumar protection from arrest for 8 weeks. Around 400 pilgrims from Rajasthan are stuck in Uttarakhand's Uttarkashi district due to landslides. No casualty has been reported and all the passengers are safe, a senior official said. The pilgrims from Rajasthan's Bhilwara, Ajmer and other places were returning from Gangotri Dham, which they got trapped due to the landslide near Gabnani in Uttarkashi. Time for a break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Welcome back to the news. It's time for updates from the Russia-Ukraine battlefront. Voting began today in Moscow-held regions of Ukraine on referendums to become part of Russia. The votes are being held in the Luhansk, Kherson and partly Russian-controlled Zaporizhia and Donetsk regions. The balloting will continue for 5 days through Tuesday. The Kremlin-orchestrated referendums are being seen as a step towards annexing the territories by Russia. The vote has been widely denounced by Ukraine and the West as shams without any legal force. The first reservists have started gathering in various cities across Russia after Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a partial mobilization to bolster his forces in Ukraine. Hundreds of men said goodbye to their families in Russia's far eastern town of Neryungry, Yakutia. In Moscow, a young man claimed he received a draft notice even though he is a student. However, the move also sent a lot of Russians buying plane tickets to flee the country. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence has said that many of released Ukrainian prisoners of war had suffered torture in Russian detention. Ukraine's interior minister said that some of the Ukrainian POWs released by Russia were currently receiving rehabilitation in hospital. 215 Ukrainians, most of whom captured after the fall of Mariupol, were released by Russia on Wednesday in a prisoner exchange. Ukraine sent back 55 Russians and pro-Moscow Ukrainians. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told the United Nations Security Council that war in Ukraine is effectively Russia versus the collective West. He repeated his country's frequent claims that Kiev has long oppressed Russian speaker in Ukraine's east. He asserted that Ukraine's Western allies have been covering up the crimes of the Kiev regime. He said that the West is trying to drag out the fight in spite of the victims and destruction in order to wear down and weaken Russia. Mexico has proposed to the United Nations to set up a committee for dialogue and peace in Ukraine to mediate permanent peace between Russia and Ukraine. The proposal seeks to include Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Pope Francis and UK Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The proposal was put forward by Mexico's Foreign Minister Marcelo Luis Ebrard Casaubon while participating in a UN Security Council debate on Ukraine in New York. The United States called on other nations to tell Russia to stop making nuclear threats and end the horror of its war in Ukraine. Speaking at a high-profile UN Security Council meeting on Thursday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Russia chose not to ease tensions but to escalate. He also said that the international order is being shredded before our eyes. Blinken also said that Every council member should send a clear message that Russia's nuclear threat must stop immediately. Here are today's global updates. Russia's ambassador to India, Denis Alipov, has warned Pakistan of dire consequences if it gives or tries to give arms to Ukraine. He said Russia is investigating the matter and, if confirmed, it will badly affect relations with Pakistan.
Yes, we've seen such reports, and we take those very seriously. It would have a very negative effect towards our ties and relations with Pakistan.
Protesters across Iran continued to clash violently with security forces early on Friday, following the death of a young woman in police custody. Iranian state TV suggested the death toll from unrest could be as high as 26. The movement represents the widest unrest since 2019, when rights groups said hundreds of people were killed in a violent crackdown.
Iranian state television suggested that the death toll of protest over the death of a 22-year-old woman in police custody has risen to over 24, without providing more information as the unrest continues. An anchor on Iran state television suggested the death toll from the mass protests could be as high as 26 on Thursday, but did not elaborate or say how he reached that figure. Clashes between Iranian security forces and protesters have killed at least 11 people since the violence erupted over the weekend till Thursday. The demonstrations in Iran began as an emotional outpouring over the death of Mahsa Amini, a young woman held by the country's morality police for allegedly violating its strictly enforced dress code. The police say she died of a heart attack and was not mistreated, but her family has cast doubt on that account. Iran's state-run media this week reported demonstrations of hundreds of people in at least 13 cities, including the capital, Tehran. Iranian authorities imposed some restrictions on the internet and blocked access to WhatsApp and Instagram. People in Tehran and some other cities plan to hold a counter-protest rally after the Friday prayer. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And now, the latest from the world of sports. Second T20 international between India and Australia in Nagpur reduced to 8 overs a side contest. India are trailing 0-1 and need to win to keep the series alive. In a befitting farewell to a legend of women's cricket, Jhulan Goswami's farewell ODI will be played at the Lords in London on Saturday. Harmanpreet Kaur's team eager to send Jhulan into retirement with a win. Lyudmila Samsonova has booked her place in the last 4 of the Torrey Pan-Pacific Open being played in Tokyo. Samsonova defeated former Wimbledon and French Open champion Garbiñe Muguruza 6-4, 6-2 in the quarters. Zhang Shui has reached the semi-final of the Pan-Pacific Open. In the quarterfinals, Shui defeated Petra Martic in straight sets 7-5, 6-2. Kevin De Bruyne scores 1 goal and makes the other for Belgium to secure a rare 2-1 win over Wales in Brussels and keep the slim chance of reaching the Nations League semi-final alive. That's all in today's The News. Keep watching Sansad Television for the latest updates. Goodbye.